Hey, what up, everybody? Steve Breach coming to you. This is me doing my little pay-per-view predictions. I normally have Danny with me to do the TNA shows, but I was unable to hook up with him last night. So I'm flying solo. TNA's had a good run of string. I'm sorry, TNA's had a good little string of shows here for you in the last little while, and Impact. Last two pay-per-views been really, really good. Looking over this Hardcore Justice pay-per-view, nothing is really singing to me and saying, hey, you make sure you gotta watch this. I don't know. I don't know why. The show's gonna be good, but the pay-per-view's not. But I believe in them. I mean, they do have some matches they can really, they can pull out a good show. I mean, they have 3 separate 4-way matches. I think that's a little bit too much, in my opinion, but I mean, at least they're stacked to the point where, there's a lot of big names on them. If you want to talk about Impact for a little bit, I haven't made a good video on TNA in the last little while, but Austin Aries versus Robert Roode, that feud is not really pulling towards me, and now I'm sort of kicking myself on why I was so excited that Austin Aries won the title. I know it was something different, but I mean, it wasn't really what I was really setting myself and hoping for. I was really wanting to see that rematch of James Storm against Robert Roode. I was such a Beer Money fan that I think those guys could wrestle 100 times and I would care every single time, just as long as they kept it exciting. Aces and Eights, I really, really like that invasion angle. Everybody likes invasion angles, but if the guys under the hoods each week are the guys that are going to really be at the end, I think people are really going to be surprised and sort of be just looking at these guys like, hey, that's Domino, and that's Festus, and I don't know who those other guys are, but they could burn the Impact Zone to the ground at the end of this invasion angle, and no one's going to care, because no one knows who the hell these guys are. If you want to say that nobody knew who the Nexus guys were when they did their invasion angle on John Cena and CM Punk on Raw, people just put in, 12 or 15 weeks in NXT, and they'd watch these guys wrestle for an hour in, an hour out, and they at least knew these guys' names and everything like that. But it's not like when these guys show up, they're going to be able to use their WWE names. They're not going to be, Kevin Nash and Scott Hall running in there. It's going to be names that are made up that have no correlation with the whole WWE stuff. So you might recognize their faces, but you're not going to know their characters or names in TNA. So it's not really going to matter. The Joey Ryan stuff, honestly, when it first started happening, I really didn't think it was going to get as big as it is now, but I'm really into that. But at the same point, why are you running 2 invasion angles on the same show? It makes no sense that these, 2 invasion angles aren't going along with each other. It's like if they had, WCW go running down and do an invasion, and then they had, another guy on the WWE roster trying to invade and beat the same guys up and try to get in. It doesn't really make sense. I know Joey Ryan's trying to get noticed. He's trying to make a name for himself, but the way they're doing it, I'm not really 100% sure that they should be messing with the whole gut check challenge. I think it should just be straight up, you're in, you're out, you're out. If they're leading up to a match between Joey Ryan and Al Snow, I was really thinking it was going to happen on this card. I don't know why you would make this go any longer than it is. The guy's over, you can tell. Get him, signed up and get him in regular matches as soon as possible. Going over the card, you have the X Division title match, Zema Ion going up against Kenny King. I think Zema Ion is a big deal. I think they need to keep a title on him, but at the same reason, you need to get him to Jesse Sorensen as soon as Sorensen's ready to get into the ring. And, I think have that moment when Sorensen wins the title from him. I think that's what everybody's looking for, everybody wants. Nobody wants to see a wrestler with a neck injury sitting on the sideline. But at the same point, I think a lot of people are rooting for Kenny King. And if you don't put the title on this guy sooner than later, why'd you sign this guy and why'd you bring him over for Ring of Honor? He put a lot on the line, and I think he needs to be sort of congratulated and shown that he stepped across the line for a reason. For that reason, this match is a coin flip for me. I'm not 100% sure who I'd pick, but if I was putting money down on this, like we were making a bet in Vegas, I would bet on Zema Ion for the win. There we go to the Knockouts Championship. Miss Tessmacher against Madison Rayne. Just this week I saw pictures of Madison Rayne entering a fitness competition, where she gets all muscled up, And that scared the hell out of me. I always thought she was a pretty good looking babe, and I honestly don't think I think of that same thing of her anymore. But Tessmacher is the new champ. They've been pushing her. They put tons and tons of pictures on Facebook of her every day for the TNA thing. So that title's not going anywhere anytime soon. From there we go from the tag team match, Chavo Guerrero and Hernandez going up against Gunner and Kid Cash. Yes, I said Gunner and Kid Cash. Only one thing can happen from this. I'm betting all my money that Hernandez turns on Chavo Guerrero because Chavo Guerrero needs better competition than Gunner and Kid Cash. And I think that Hernandez has been looking for a good way to get over for a long time in TNA. And I think him going up against Chavo Guerrero is a good way to get it. So I think this match is the throwaway match, and I am picking Hernandez to do the turn. I'm not sure if that means that Gunner and Kid Cash are going to pick up the win. But I am looking at Chavo looking great and moving on, having a feud with Hernandez. Then we go to these Bound for Glory series matches. I don't think they did this last year, but they've put all 12 guys into 3 matches, 3 fatal 4-ways. One's a ladder match, one's a tables match, one's a Falls Count Anywhere match. And these are good, real hard matches to pick. First match, you got James Storm, Bully Ray, Jeff Hardy, and Robbie E. This is a tables match, so I guess the first guy to go through a table loses, or the first guy to put somebody through a table wins. Makes sense to me. One thing for sure, Robbie E's not getting the win. That leaves us Storm, Bully Ray, and Hardy. Storm lost on Impact. He hasn't lost that many matches since coming back, but that was a real big shock to me that Bully Ray picked up the win. They have Jeff Hardy in there as well. It wouldn't surprise me to somehow see Jeff Hardy going through a table, missing his swanton somehow, something like that, costing him the match. So maybe, I guess I'm saying Bully Ray picks up the win, but with his whole contract thing, it doesn't make sense. But why would they have him with no contract beat James Storm, who's the one guy that's pretty much been unstoppable? But for some reason, I'm picking Bully Ray in this match. The next match, we go to the Falls Count Anywhere match. We have Mr. Anderson and Rob Van Dam going against the Pope and Magnus. The Pope and Magnus. I guess this is the match where they had to put 2 guys that didn't matter in there, but it's either going to be Anderson or Rob Van Dam. I think a Falls Count Anywhere match hopefully would suit Rob Van Dam better. He hasn't been getting his fair shake in TNA for the last long while, and I've been looking forward to him to getting back to the top of the ranks, especially after that match he had with Robert Roode a few months ago on pay-per-view. But I normally don't pick against Anderson, but I am picking Rob Van Dam for this match. And then the ladders match for 20 points in the Bound for Glory series. This one they didn't have any jobbers to put in there. AJ, Daniels, Samoa Joe, and Angle. Now, you have Daniels and you have Styles in here, so somehow this has to involve Claire. So I'm crossing both of those guys out, saying that more likely one of those guys won't win. Samoa Joe's been getting a pretty good fair shake, and so is Angle. These guys had a great match on the pay-per-view a couple months ago, and that was on Destination X. That might have been the last pay-per-view, which was last month. But I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing them in as many matches as I can before my life is over. But I'll pick Kurt Angle to win this match, especially since Samoa Joe went over in the last one. And then in the finale, we have Austin Aries going against Robert Roode in the finale. Hopefully Robert Roode's going to win his title back, and we can get back to normal stuff there for you. So there's my TNA predictions. I appreciate everybody coming in and checking them out.